Hi, I'm Real Genetic Demon, and this is The Long Dark. Well, actually, it's going to be a rough guide. I'm going to start a brand new game and give you a rough sort of look at basic survival, a little bit of the interfaces, and just a little romp around the level itself. I personally love The Long Dark. I think it's a fantastic game, and there are a few things that you want to know when you first start, and these are the few things that you really need. When it first came out in 2012, that's when the beta came out originally. There was a few things that you needed to know. This has been refined and right in 2019. It's an absolutely stunning game. Now, what I'm going to talk about applies to both PC versions, Xbox One versions, PlayStation 4 versions. Gosh, they need a Switch version. Wow, a Switch version would be excellent. Anyway, so I'm just going to play, because what I want to do is, is actually just play the basics. So I basically just want to go through the foraging. I'm not going to worry about dealing with wildlife. Wildlife is scared away usually by burning things or weapons or sort of pulling them apart. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to go with the very basics. We're going to go with the Pilgrim level, and I'm going to show you how to. Now, Pilgrim I love because you can explore. You can look around the levels. It's just a gentle approach and a nice way to start with the Long Dark. So, Mountain Town. This is a new addition to the game. This was added not too long ago. It's quite an easy place to start, but we're going to go with the classic here. We're going to I'll go with classic. We're going to go walk through it. There's a few hard ones. They do actually say whether they're advanced. Some have difficult weathers. Where are we? Mountain Town, Railroad. You've got some that are particularly cold and dangerous. They tell you where they connect to at the bottom of the screen. It's worth noting that. For instance, Timberwolf connects to the Timberwolf Mountain connects to Pleasant Valley. Pleasant Valley is for advanced peoples. The thing about Pleasant Valley is it's got hugely different weathers. The weather kind of appears on a regular sort of basis. It kind of changes out of nowhere, and it can be quite a hard one actually to be there. It's quite flat. There are some hilly bits, but for the most part, it's quite flat valley, and it literally is a valley, but it can be very, very harsh on occasions. Intermediate players, this is kind of a desolation point. It's quite a nice place because there's quite a few interesting houses and things like that. And then we've got the Coastal Highway, which is an intermediate one as well. More houses along there, quite nice. But we're going to go with the very starting one. This was the one that they created ideally for new players. It's kind of a mix of hilly areas, places you can go fishing, plenty of wildlife to kill and eat, and a number of other things. So we're going to go with this one. So let's go here to begin with. We're going to be male because that's what I am. So we'll just call it Sandbox 1. That'll do fine. So, done. And accept that. And I love this because on the apocalypse scales, this is a very gentle apocalypse, if there is such a thing. It's a magnetic storm that's caused people to sort of... You've crashed in the Canadian wilderness, and it's basically had a massive effect and made everything cold and wet and nasty, and nothing electric works anymore, which is kind of cool. So it's simple apocalypse. I'm assuming there's nothing... there'll be nothing nice about it. There is something lovely about the sense of loneliness, though, within the whole thing. So, okay, so first things first. Let's have a look at a little lay of the land and see if we can work out where we are. Right. Okay. So, I often wonder whether or not it points in the right direction to begin with. But that's the little lay of the land, and it's absolutely stunning. Okay, next we'll have a quick look at our inventory. So we can bring that up with whatever your button for your inventory is. Mine happens to be, because I'm using a PlayStation 4, happens to be the triangle, but that'll be a Y, and probably a Y on the PC as well. So we've got, like, this is all your items in there. Then you've got what's known as burnables, or fire starting things. So this is, I've got some matches for starting fires, got some tinder for burning initially before you burn into the some other thing, and some accelerant which guarantees that a fire will start. We won't be using much of that. You've got a few things. We're quite lucky here. We've got a couple of items items of first aid. We've got some antibiotics for pain, antiseptic for washing down wounds if you get hurt, bandaging for bandaging those wounds and stopping the blood loss, and some more painkillers. So we've got quite a few good things. Sorry, that's disease. So that's your painkillers for your pain if you hurt yourself, sprain an ankle, say, and that's if you get a disease or an infection. The clothes we've got, a little bit worn. The more worn the clothing is, you see it's 26% that one, the more worn the clothing is, the less warmth it provides or strength against things. It's worth noting that one. We've got a little bit of food, and we've got a little bit of water. These fill up your stomach, as it says below there, 500 calories, and then there's a little bit of water. Further down, we have a selection of other items. We've got some fishing tackle, we've got a flare, we've got a recycled can. Now that's quite useful because you can use it with boiling water. So you carry this around. So whenever you own a can, you'll actually get one of these. And then we've also got a sewing kit. So we've got a number of useful items to begin with. Then we've got some materials. We've got a little bit of bandage that's available to us. And that's the main elements there. Now if we move across, this is us as at the moment, and we've got +4 warmth from what we're wearing, plus 4 windproof. That's really important because wind can be really devastating within this game. It can blow through your clothing like you would not believe. How we look, this is kind of how many calories we've got. We've got a stomach full, we're sated, or slated, we've basically full, we're not thirsty, we're well rested, we're warm. If you stay well rested and fed for I think it's 2 days, you actually get an additional bonus to the amount of things you can carry. Now it feels like -6, so we're actually getting cold. You've also got a building thing, which is it's quite small actually. You can build various things from mushrooms to more tinder to torches. Very simple items that are required for this. This requires a workbench. You can find these in some buildings. And this allows you to basically use wolf skin and other things to produce boots and rabbits' hats and all this kind of stuff. And then you've got more advanced things which come from forges, which allow you to create arrowheads, improvised knives, and hatchets, all of which are very key to the whole thing. Other things in the menu you can see are your daily log. You can see what you've discovered during that day. These are your skills. These go up as you do them. So the more you harvest carcasses, the more you cook, the more you start fires, the better you get at these things. And they're very important skills. These are sort of general collectibles, sort of notes, cairns, buffers from memories from computers. Now that's interesting. I said that there was no power during what's it called? Is it Aurora Borealis or Borealis? When the electrical air is charged, computers and electrical things come back on. It's the only time they do. It's quite interesting. And you can write your own notes, and then there's just the general how long you survived for it in the long run against the game. I've done a few hours. Travelled a few hours. Survived a few days. Next one is your map. Now, this can be created as you go along, and I'll show you how we create a map. It's really useful. It kind of gives you some bearing on where you are. However, this game is really designed about learning the environment yourself. Anyway, right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and find somewhere. I'm going to head down the mountain because it looks interesting here. Look, we got some bits over here that look like they may be housing and things like that. So we'll head down the mountain. We'll keep our eyes open for things as we go, though, because although it's not cold, we need to keep an eye on things. So let's see what we can see. Look, now I can see some first things here. I'm just going to grab these while we're here. These are mushrooms. Now these can be used as painkillers or antibiotics. And I can't remember which one or two it is off the top of my head at the moment. But we'll take them. They can also make a rather nice mushroom tea, which heats you up and keeps you warm. So it's worth doing. This is one of the few resources within the Long Dark that actually regrows. These regrow. If you come back here, they will grow. If you take certain other things, which I think we may find some down here as we go. Yeah, we're definitely going to find some here. And I'm going to show you these. These are very good because they don't really go off, but there is a problem with them. So we're looking at these reeds here. Now, there's also something else of interest here. Let's grab this while we're here. This is a stone. Let's go in all caveman here. We need stones. The stones are useful for stunning bunny rabbits. You can use them to throw at bunny rabbits, as a weapon. So we will take a few of those, because we will need them later, I'm sure. Okay, so while we're here, rose hips. These don't regrow, but they are worth harvesting while we're here, because we're not particularly cold. The weather's not particularly bad. It's -6. So our body's suffering a little bit, but it's not freezing at the moment. So we're just going to move slowly. You can run like that, but we don't need to. If you move slower, your energy doesn't go down as fast. You've got a radial button here that's up on the left bumper on the top. This allows you to choose light sources, drinks, so you can get a drink quickly. You can do first aid quickly. You can do fire stuff, so campfire things, which means putting a recycled can down for water, create a snow shelter. Snow shelters are really useful. They protect you from snow and keep you warm. You can also pass time. Passing time allows you to save. Very important. Sleeping allows you to save. Entering a building allows you to save. If you want to save or are a little concerned about something, do the pastime. Because I've found that some of the later updates have caused a few issues. Only minor ones, but enough that they've broken elements of the game on some of my saves, which isn't very good, if I'm honest, because I've got some very big saves and I can't get out of the areas now, which is a bit of a problem. Okay, so we're going to follow this river down here, because I'm hoping it's going to take us, because this place is called Mystery Lake. I am hoping that it takes us down to the lake, which would be lovely. And we haven't found any reeds that we can take yet, because these aren't ready edible. It's very sparse, the display, but it's very good because I quite like it. You can actually get it to hide down in that bottom left-hand corner there. You can get that to actually hide away, but I don't see any reason to do that. Now, I can see a hide over there. Can you see it at the distance? There's a hide. There's some birds as well circling. See the birds? Now, birds circling usually means the existence of a dead body or something similar. We're going to take this. It turns it into bandages. So when you have enough of it. And if you're an achievement hunter, collecting all these things are also important. They're very light in weight, so you might as well take them while you're here. There's no reason why you shouldn't. There's a more. I don't know if I saw more there. No. Okay. Alright, we're going to move on. We're going to get down here to this riverbank. Now, yes, I can see some reeds we can take. So, here we go. These are the reeds. Now, these are a source of food. These stalks can be eaten. They give you 150 calories, and they've got 100% sort of reusable ability. Now, they do not go off, so you keep them. Other thing useful is the cattail heads. They can be used to burn or start fires. So I'm going to take the lot and the food. Very handy. Okay. There's quite a lot of them in this. It's unnamed pond. That's where we're at. Now, our bird friends are over there, which tells me when I take some of this food. Let's get ourselves a little bit of food while we're here. Remember, these do not respawn, which is a bit of a problem. The game, however, is about finite resources and surviving as long as you can on those finite resources. Once you become an adept hunter, however, it becomes an awful lot easier. So, those birds are over there. You might find feathers here, which can be used to make arrows. I can see some firewood. I can also see a body. So we'll pop over to this man here that they're circling over, and we will have a search of his corpse. Rough as it is. Right, so it's got a pair of trainers. We'll take those. He's got some trail boots, new ones. Got to be better than what we're wearing. So let's have a little look and see whether or not our mercenary behaviour has been any use. So we've got some ragged trail boots, and they're significantly better. Their stats have gone up there. They keep more temperature in, look. So we've got our ragged ones there, and we've got brand new ones there. So we'll pop those on. So we're going to wear those brand new ones. We're going to keep the old ones. There is a specific reason for keeping them. The reason being that... Oh, and the wind blows against you as you move. The reason is that you can dismantle anything you've got. So you can take apart a pair of boots for like excellent broken arrow or broken arrow. Take it apart and harvest the parts.
Excellent.
Now hatchet, brilliant. Some dog food. Yep, we're definitely going to eat dog food later. A rifle cartridge, we'll take that. A bandage, we'll take that. Your thing about it is you need to find yourself somewhere to almost to nest, somewhere safe to go, somewhere you can find that you can work from. So I'm going to head on forward down here. It's quite windy now. However, although there's a bit of wind going on, it's not causing me any problems. I picked up a stick there. That was me starting my run towards getting some firewood for wherever I go to. I'm going to make my way along here. I think, from memory, we are not far away from what I'm hoping is a railroad. But we'll see. Now, what I'm doing is just making a bit of safety here. Now, if you build fires outside, you've got to find a safe location for that, so that basically the wind doesn't blow it out. So we're collecting a few sticks. I'm using my hands where possible because using an item puts more wear on it, and the more wear you've got on it, the quicker it is to actually disappear and run out. So we're just building our way across here. Now there's some deer. Now to deal with the deer, you would need a bow or a rifle. They're very skittish. They run without any particular within distance. They can smell you coming, so they're a bit of a difficult one to deal with. Right, now I'm going to take this while we're here. This is a birch sap. It's one of the reusable items within the game. You can use the birch sap to create. You can actually create. With that, you can create arrows, basically. Use with an arrowhead and or shafts of an arrow, and some various bits and pieces that go with it. It's really quite useful. I mean, the game is really good. Although the resources are quite high in Pilgrim mode, which we're playing on, which is quite. And I realise that this is kind of the easy mode, but it's a good exercise in learning how things actually work. So I have to admit, I love the styling of it. It feels cold, and you feel the danger within the game as you play. Let's just move on a little bit here. Right, I'm gonna do something here. I've just spotted a big log. I think I want this one. I think I'm going to turn this into... It's going to take us an hour to do this, to break this down, but I think it's worth it. Now, the sun's almost going down. It's going to get cold as the sun goes down. I'm still moving on, though. However, look what I've just discovered. We've come over the top of the hill, and it looks like we have a cabin. Now, I know whose cabin this is, and I know what cabin this is. So, here's our first rest stop. Now, we might not live here, but this is our first corner of the world that we're gonna just take a second to come down on. Let's have a little look. All right, so looking for safety here. Now you can see the wind chill's really quite high now. It's dropped, making my strength sort of drop. Here we go. Trapper's Homestead. Now Trapper's Homestead's usually quite a nice location, in the sense that the trapper himself, or this man's homestead, usually has an abundance of equipment that can be used to get you through. Basically, it's a good place to be. He's the one who's got the thing at the other end. Now my temperature's going up because we're indoors now. You tend to find that once you're indoors, that just that simple change is usually enough to increase your temperature. Currently at 5 degrees. So as long as we're not below 1 degrees, we're okay. So let's have a little look around our trapper's cottage. First thing we're going to do is going to grab this and let's get us a little bit of light. So this is a storm lantern. Really good because it's not affected by the wind. I'm going to go through my lighting options, which is up on the D-pad, and I'm going to light that up. And I'm going to have a little look. Oh, wonderful. Right, so we have abundance of things. He has left us with a shelf that can be broken down, some tinder, a bandage, some more antiseptic. He's given some herbal tea, and a shelf again that can be bashed up. He's got his stove and another tin can. We'll take that for the moment while we're there. There's a book which actually has no purpose. We can use it to burn. There is a hunting knife. We will take that straight away. Now, one thing worth noting is that you can crouch in this game. And this game is very naughty for hiding things underneath things. So you may be looking around and going, "Ooh," and you've got everything. Nope, doesn't always follow that way. So we've got another rifle cartridge. I'm just taking those. I haven't actually got a rifle. We've got a backpack. We have a locker. We've got a first aid kit. We have a safe which we can crack. We've got some food, some rifle cleaning, some cloth, some sewing kits, some soup, plastic container containing it, a shelf, magnifying glass, wonderful. Magnifying glasses allow you to set fires outdoors by using the harnessing the power of the sun. Now, the advantage of the magnifying glasses is that they don't wear out very quickly. They're pretty much limitless, which means that you can start a fire outside, take the torch and bring it inside, because matches are a finite solution. So the magnifying glass is brilliant. We'll be taking that. Flare, some more food, a actual book we can read, Wilderness Kitchen, that'll teach us how to cook better, so which means we can get more calories out of the food that we cook, because cooking food provides more calories. Now, we've got a safe as well. Now the safe we need to actually do something with. I'm going to turn up my volume on my computer because just to hear it, because we're going to do the safe now, and we're going to crack into this safe. There, it was 51, I think. You heard it make a noise. There it is. 51 or 50 or 49. Then back the other way. Gosh, 49 again. Forwards. So they're quite easy to crack. Just take a little bit of patience. Okay, so we need to spin it around to 49. So 50. And then back around to the same place, because somebody wanted the same number. And then round to 40. There we go. And then we can open it. And we can search it. It takes a little while to search. Everything takes a little while. This is the thing. It's all about survival, and it all takes a little bit of time. So now we've got an empty safe with all the bits and pieces in it. I haven't found. I was hoping for. I have to admit, I was hoping for. Oh, jerry can. That may contain oil. I was hoping for a number of other things in there. Maybe possibly a rifle. Decent scarf. We'll take that. Let's see if we can find any more clothing. While we're at it. Search everything is my advice. Everything is worth searching. If it can search it, snares, brilliant, very early, brilliant thing to do. You can put these anywhere where you can find what's known as a bunny grove, and then you can do things there. But I will demonstrate some bits and pieces now. I'm hoping that this has, yes, charcoal. So we've chosen the fire. We're going to take the charcoal. I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a second.
It'd end up being useful.
Now we've got a cooking pot as well. There is a reason for taking a cooking pot. Right, I'm going to take the charcoal. We're going to go outside. Now you can bring this up from your radial bar, and I'll show you how to do that now. Hopefully it's not too dark and that I can actually use the charcoal. I'll show you what happens with this. It's a brilliant game. I thought it's one of my favourite games. Yes, it's not too late. Okay, so you can also see the birds circling, so there's a dead corpse there. There's also a bear in the distance, look. Lovely. Okay, so what we do is we go to the campfire options, and in the bottom, not campfire options, sorry, to the navigation option at the bottom, and we choose charcoal. Now I've got charcoal out, it says survey area, so we do that, we hold the button down, everything takes time, remember. And there we go, we've got the Trappers Homestead. It's now marked on the map. So there's a reason for having charcoal. Charcoal is good. Charcoal allows us to see what's there. Now, while we've got the opportunity, and it's still light, it's a bit cold. In fact, I'm going to go to my clothing because I have something else to wear now. I've got a decent scarf. I'll put that on as well. Add a bit of heat to ourselves. Just warm ourselves up a little bit, and then you can actually see there's a difference made. Now, because we're in pilgrim mode, this bear will take no notice of us. It will run off in a different direction, hopefully. Go on, bear. Off you go. We should find in here a carcass. Like everywhere else, I'm going to say the same thing. Search everywhere. Eating uncooked food, with the exception of fish or things that are man-made, it will cause you to get ill. So what we need to do is we need to do that, and we need to peel the meat off it. We want the hide and we want the guts, because everything is usable. You can quarter the animal and carry it away easier in chunks, but I find it easy. Most of the time I strip the animal where it stands, which just makes life easier. Remember, everything takes time. So, as time passes, you get colder and hungrier. And now it's night, and it's cold. But thankfully, theirs is our cabin. So we will make our way to the cabin. It's funny, the lights are on, but there's nobody home. Alright. I'm going to run, because I want to get there now. Because it's very cold. Temperatures drop massively. Clothes get damaged by storms and weather. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Lights are on, but there's nobody in there. You hear the wind rust wildly going. It's brilliant. If there are lights on, I'll be utterly amazed. No, it's pitch black. So, I'm going to light my torch again. Excellent. Okay, let's get a fire started and let's get some food cooking. So, two things to do. One is, you can do it this way. I quite like doing it this way. Is you can place your pots by selecting your campfire options and then selecting whichever pot you've got. So I like to do that. And we're going to start the fire. So we can't use a magnifying glass because that's got zero chance of doing it. We've got wooden matches. We've got 2 boxes of those. So we'll do some wooden matches. We'll use the cat of nine tails. We go cat of nine tails. Cat of nine tails. That's whips, isn't it? Cat tails. Head. A book will get more chance of starting. Or fur and sticks. I'm going to try with the sticks because I really kind of want to... I don't want to waste anything. What only happens here is if you fail to make the fire, you lose 1 match. So, it's worth the gamble? Yeah, it is. If you want to go faster, you put some accelerant in it. Guaranteed to cook. But we're going to try it. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get a fire first time round. It would be nice if we can. Once we get a fire on, we'll get a bit of light going in the house, in the building. Yes, we've got fire. Right, we're going to add some fuel to the fire. So I'm going to chuck in a few more sticks. First off, I'm actually going to chuck some cedar wood at it, actually, firewood at it. There we go. And that should increase the time to an hour. Right, that's excellent. Let us put some food in here. Let's cook some of this raw venison. It's in really poor shape, but we'll put it in there. And let's use this opportunity as well to melt some water. Now, it's worth doing these things because I always take the opportunity to do water, because you can drop water on the floor and it turns into plastic bottles full of water. And the best part about it dropping and doing that is that you basically end up with lots and lots of sort of water that's stockpiled, and that's kind of useful because water's worth it, worth doing. It doesn't feed you, but it does actually, it does do things. One of the advantages as well is that I'm just going to put some more. I'm going to put some more fuel in here because I've decided that I want to. I'm going to put another 5 sticks in there. I'm not giving it another hour. Now the temperature in the room will have gone up as well. If we look at my temperature, my gentleman, he is nice and warm. He's a full 19 degrees C in here now, because the more fuel you put in there, the hotter this thing runs. If you click on the venison, for instance, you can pass time until it is done. So we will do that. And it is cooked. Now you must take it before it burns, because otherwise it'll be a problem. So we're going to take that. Now, what to do with food or meats is, if you wish to store them for an extended length of time, and take them for later, what you want to really do with them, this is a really kind of thing it took me a while to work this out, is you want to put them outside. You want to put them lie out your food, your raw meat outside, and it will take a lot longer for it to go off. Anything that's kind of boxed or sort of tin canned or whatever else, they can go inside if you want, but meat, just store it outside. Even after you've cooked it, put it outside. It makes no difference to the heat, because you're effectively just keeping it refrigerated at a sensible temperature for the duration. And the only reason I'm doing this one is particularly gamey at this point. It's probably worth doing. We won't have a lot of food at this point in time, so it's probably worth the effort to keep it sort of cooked. So we're gonna skip time again. I'm going to pass time till it's ready. You don't want to eat it when it's not potable, because it's unsafe and you get poisoned. So always try and make sure you've got yourself nice and sort of safe if you can. I'm going to put some more water in here, and if I can put another, I'm going to try and put a litre into this other one. It's always worth water. While you've got fire going, you might as well do the water. So I'm going to pass the time till that was ready. This one should be ready at this point in time, nearly. Not quite. And we'll take that. Pass the time till this is ready. And we'll take that. Now the winds could die down as well while we're doing it. So let's find a bed. Now we could use a campfire. However, my preference is to use beds where possible, because they don't wear out, whereas your camp bed does wear out. It's another thing that wears out. So you might as well have a warmer bed and sleep there. Good 8 hours of sleep will do you. However, if you want to sleep through the night until it's nice and bright in the day, that's worth doing too. So I'll just go to sleep, and we should have a reasonable night's sleep. It seems that double beds are better than others. So you'll wake up fairly rested, fully woken, with very thirsty. So we will now have something to drink. I hadn't realised that we were so thirsty. Well, I'll just get the thirst sorted. If I'd noticed that earlier, I would have drank earlier. I think that outside it's quite. And I know I'm moving in the dark. Let's just take this out of here. Now, what I would suggest is when you're starting off this, is you start building a base. You start collecting timber and putting it into places. You start smashing up chairs in case of this, and making it sort of somewhere safe to begin your sort of mission. But once, the main thing about it is to get yourself sorted, find yourself somewhere safe, and move from there. Okay, I'm just going to go outside and have a quick look around. I think it's very early in the morning, so it's still quite cold. In fact, very cold, freezing cold. You can always wait. That's one of the main things I always find with this game. You can always wait. There's always time that you can actually wait. But those are the basics of getting you started. That gets you started. That gets you just to carve a carcass. That's another thing. Last thing before I go, however, I would just like to show you is that when you want to do something with these guys, it says they need to be dry-aired indoors. So what you have to do is you have to drop that item on the floor. Drop the gut on the floor for 5 days. And drop the hide. You will not be able to do anything with them on a workbench until they have been cured, which basically means to be dry-aired indoors for 4 to 5 days, depending on the material that you're using. It's very important. I did not know that when I started the game originally. I noticed the text has changed so that they tell you that is the case, but when I first started playing this game, I wasn't aware that was the case. When it comes to clothing and other things, if you've got cloth, you can tear it apart. It's just so much to do in this game, but at the same time so little. You've got actions. You can harvest things and turn them into cloth. You can smash up things that turn into cloth. There's lots of resources there, but this, as I say, is a basics. It kind of gets you there. It allows you to go from here with a rough understanding. Everything that is interactable with actually appears as interactable, and for the most part, it tells you what these things are meant to do and what you're meant to find when you choose them. Anyway, I've been your host, Real Genetic Demon. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye now.